Pat Forde of Yahoo Sports. Pat, how are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Doing well. Pat, down there in Miami, is there more of a Notre Dame presence or Alabama?
So far, I've seen more of a Notre Dame presence, and I think that's directly attributable to the fact that they haven't been here in 25 years, and the fan base is out of its mind excited. Alabama, while the fan base is certainly excited as well, there is a little bit of a sense of been there and done that. Whereas, Notre Dame, this is shiny presents under the tree that haven't been opened, and they are just. I've seen a lot of Notre Dame fans, and they are all very giddy.
Latest line, Pat, has Alabama as 9.5-point favorites. Is that fair?
I think that's too much. Heck, I'm picking Notre Dame to win, so I obviously think it's too much. But I think Notre Dame matches up very well. They are basically an SEC team. The big canard here is, they don't play in the SEC. I don't know anything about the SEC and the toughness of that. Notre Dame's played a harder schedule. Notre Dame plays like an SEC team. Great front seven defensively, physical football, run the football, control the clock. So, I think they match up quite well in this game.
Are there any mismatches for either team, a situation where you look at it and say this is a big advantage for one or the other?
Well, I do think Amari Cooper, freshman wide receiver for Alabama, he's a great talent. He's extremely fast. And Notre Dame's secondary has gotten better this year, but I think it's obviously the weakest point of that defense, and I'm not sure they have absolute great speed at the back end of the defense. So, Amari Cooper's a guy that they cannot let get deep on him. But that's Notre Dame doesn't let anybody get deep on him. That's the way they play defense under Bob Diaco. They are very, very much bend, don't break, and then they are really tough in the red zone.
Better quarterback, Notre Dame or Alabama?
Alabama, more experience. A.J. McCarron really grew up in front of everybody last year in this game, played great. They put a lot on his shoulders, somewhat surprisingly, and he came through big time. And he's had a very good year this year. He's number 2 in the nation in pass efficiency, does not make a bunch of mistakes. Everett Golson's has been all over the map this year. He's been benched multiple times now. He's gotten better as the season has gone on. He's a better athlete than McCarron. He has the mobility that at times has given Alabama problems in recent years, and most recently Johnny Manziel. He's getting better quickly, but I think Alabama's got to come into this feeling a little more comfortable at quarterback.
See, here's my question about A.J. McCarron. I agree with everything you said there. He is an efficient quarterback, but is A.J. McCarron good enough to lead this team from behind? Like, if Notre Dame gets ahead on Alabama early and they put the ball in A.J. McCarron's hands, can he lead a comeback like that?
Yeah, he's done it before. Did it against LSU when it looked like they were beaten and had a heck of a final drive there to win the game. Did it against Georgia, when they in a game that kept going back and forth. So he can do that. The one thing now in both of those games, though, he was part of the reason they were behind. He really struggled for long stretches against LSU and against Georgia. As I said, not terribly mobile, and at times if you pressure him, if you can get into his face, which Notre Dame's defense has the ability to do, he will take sacks, he'll throw the ball away. He's not going to throw interceptions. He's only thrown 3 of them all year, but you can take him off of his game a little bit because he's not going to run away from you very easily.
Talking to Pat Forde, senior writer, Yahoo Sports, here on the Dan Patrick Show. Pat's down in Miami for the BCS championship game tonight, actually. Pat, Brian Kelly and Nick Saban, are we expecting both those guys to be back at their respective schools next year, or either one of them going to get some interest from the NFL when this game is over?
Yeah, I think they're both their names are on the radar out there a little bit. The Bears. There's some talk that they have through intermediaries expressed that they would like to talk to Kelly when this is over. Saban's name is out there frequently, and he's a guy that obviously has some NFL past and has a lot of friends in that league. I expect them both to be back. I think they'd both be idiots if they left. They have great jobs now. Don't leave them. Don't mess up a good thing to chase the opportunity to get fired in 3 years. Coaches are wired differently. You know it in all sports. And they love a challenge. They love, whatever the new frontier is or the place where they haven't proven themselves. So we'll see, but I would be surprised if either of them left.
So I take it that you have a similar opinion that I do, and that Chip Kelly made the right decision in staying in college football.
Yes, absolutely. No, Chip Kelly, again, it's a guy who's got everything going for him. just call Phil Knight and tell him what you need, and he's going to get it for you. You're winning. You're recruiting very, very well. You're popular. Why trade that in to go to Philadelphia or anywhere where, you're on basically a 2-year leash and the players aren't prone to listen to you and you don't have control over personnel decisions. I mean, if you have a good job in college, I think it's better than an iffy job in the NFL.
See, I love when the college guys agree with me, putting the guys behind the glass in their place. They think that Chip Kelly should have gone. I disagree. I agree with you, Pat. Chip Kelly's in a great situation at Oregon. The only thing that would make that situation unappealing is possible sanctions. Do you have any intel on what could happen to Oregon as early as next year?
Yeah, that is an issue. There's no doubt about that. The fact that Oregon was hoping for a summary disposition, which is basically with the NCAA where, okay, here's what we think, here's what you think, let's agree on something, whatever the punishment is and just move on and the punishment won't be that bad. And they couldn't do that, which tells me, the NCAA wants to hit them a lot harder than Oregon wants to be hit. And it's going to go down now to a committee on infractions meeting. And, there's a possibility for a postseason ban next year. It's not out of the question. Penalties, could be in that range or something less than. But that is the one great unknown. And that's, Pete Carroll got out ahead of the posse. A lot of people thought Chip Kelly would do the same. So he will have to face whatever the music is with the NCAA.
Yeah, a lot of reporting on this story, Pat, has been all over the map. He's going to Cleveland, he's going to Philadelphia, now he's going back to Oregon. Why do you think he is going back to Oregon?
Good question. I don't know for sure, other than maybe just at the last minute the comfort level there, of the known and what he's good at. But the one thing I wonder how much this is going to hurt him in recruiting, because this is the second time he had all but left. Last year he was going to take the Tampa Bay job and then backed out, and now this. I would imagine everybody in the Pac-12 is just hammering him on the recruiting trail with, you can't trust that this guy's going to be there. He wants to leave, da-da-da-da-da. So, he's going to have to combat that with a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds right now.
Get you out of here with this, Pat. How does Alabama win, and how does Notre Dame win?
I think they both win the same way, Chris. I think they run the football, stop the other team. Maybe it's force a turnover because there's not going to be a lot of points. I'm sorry. I hope people aren't tuning in looking for 38-35. It's going to be more like 17-14 probably. So who gets a short field at a key time and can convert that into points? Maybe it's big special teams play. But I really think it's going to be, maybe which quarterback can make one big play or two big plays when they really need it. But it's not going to be an up and down the field game.
Thank you, Pat.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
That's Pat Forde, senior writer, Yahoo Sports down in Miami.